Hey,
Hey.
is the seat still free?
Yes.
Awesome. Well, it's a beautiful day, right?
It is, and yeah, it's a good day for that.
What are you up to?
Just commuting. It's my daily Friday commute.
Well, what's that thing?
It seems like a box, but it has some kind of stuff taped to it.
Yeah. So we have.
I hope it's not a bomb.
We have really been nerding out here over this setup, and I'm pretty glad it seems to work. We have a box that looks like a moving box, but it has a camera inside, and we can control it from here. I'm very proud of this, and this was our project, Ilya.
Yeah, man. High five. Let's do it. Holy shit.
So yeah, Ilya, you're my first podcast guest on this very special setup. I like it much more than being in a studio, to be honest. I like it so much more than being at my place. I guess one part is it.
Maybe you're an exhibitionist.
Maybe. That's not a far-fetched theory, actually.
Okay.
Because I'm always up for doing like things that are a bit cringy and that scare me myself.
Yeah.
And we have a bit of a journey here coming to this spot. I mean, we tried in a Regionalzug before.
Yeah.
And it was pretty scary because
Yeah.
the people immediately noticed that we were up to something.
Yeah.
And they started giving us weird looks, and then someone took the seat that we were using.
Yeah. They were following our progress also with curiosity, with like that they already like planned that we will be the entertainment of the ride, and it's a long ride. I wish we would have done it because it's 1.5.
But the one guy was also very
hours.
concerned, right? He said, "Will it record audio?" And we were like, "Yeah, it's gonna record audio, but it's not gonna record background noise."
Yeah.
Because he was probably scared that whatever he talks to his kids will be on the podcast now.
It's
Eastern German mentality.
yeah, no, I mean, what can you talk to your kids that is that important? But yeah,
I guess I love public transport, and all the people that have been following me for any amount of time know this. I love to do things on public transport.
yeah,
One beautiful thing is that it's always available, it's always accessible,
yeah.
and it's always dry. So you can always spend time here.
Most of the time it is dry. I've seen some flooded buses, but maybe mostly on videos, not personally.
And it can be smelly, as it is right now.
Oh
here.
yeah, that's the reason it's so empty around here.
That's why we chose this spot.
Yeah.
Well, Ilya, who are you?
I'm a sociologist. I'm a researcher of mobility, but now I'm kind of just on my own writing my PhD. I have a scholarship for this. I focus on bicycles and bicycle cultures. But I did, also a fair work on public transportation and weird forms of it. So this is like what I do professionally. I also have more of an activist strand and my own podcast. But currently, I'm just writing my PhD and trying to shut out all other distractions as much as we're doing this. So I'm already failing, but it's going forward.
Post-Materialist Podcast. That's
Yes.
the name of your show, right?
Yes.
And so it seems like your topics are also all about urban and I guess future research. Can you say that?
It's tricky. Well, it's not really. It's very, very broadly about system change.
Mm-hmm.
It has to do something with urban research, but really, urban research is like, in our world, you have to specialize in something, and this is what I happen to specialize in. I am passionate about it, but also I am passionate about the bigger picture of where society is going and how to have a system that works for people and for the environment. But I made only 4 episodes, so I am far away from that goal yet of giving my 5 cents, or not my even. It's interviews. It's about interviews with other people that actually has relevant knowledge and results, research results perhaps, to show that a different system is possible and under which circumstances and issues like that.
one of the elements of the systems that you discuss there and that you propose is degrowth.
Yeah.
So
true.
kind of focusing less on economic growth. And I guess the idea is that economic resources are not as important as we make them out to be, and we don't need to work that much. But when I look at the world, it seems like actually we are already doing that. I mean, the economy is growing, but people are working less, and they're enjoying their lives more now than 100 years ago, I would say.
Shit, for this I need my laptop, because you already said a bunch of things that are facts, and we need to fact check them. So I don't know if people are working less.
Yeah.
That is,
Well, I would say, like the fact that we're discussing a 4-day week means that we're definitely working less, because that was unimaginable like a few hundred years ago. Basically, people didn't have holidays.
Yeah, but we could probably have a 4-day weeks already. A 4-day week already 20 and 30 and perhaps 40 years ago. So, because. But again, I don't want to go into my topics too much because it's your podcast. But again, about this is that most of the economy, the monetary economy, is kind of like bullshit jobs, things we do for. Because we need to grow the economy, not because it's not related to feeding you, and not related to feeling great, or not related to being out in nature or with people, or whatever the hell you want. I mean, and I'm not like anti-technology or anything. All of this is super important, and we can use it very well. But actually now already, most jobs are getting redundant, even the ones we used to consider important. And then what do we do with ourselves? And this is more of a question of meaning and a question of purpose.
Actually, I have the similar sentiment. I look at the world and I feel like most people are doing nonsense jobs, but I would say, I want to qualify that. I'll take that back actually. Most people are doing somehow valuable work, but way below their potential. And then a lot of people, maybe a third, are doing jobs that don't actually create any value. Like hardly any value. Where they're literally just being kept busy and maybe fighting for the status quo to persist so that they can keep doing this kind of busy work. It almost goes to that point where I say there's no glory in having a job. And so sometimes in these years of unemployment, I wanted to say entrepreneurship, but I said years of unemployment. In these years of entrepreneurship, there were phases where I was pretty much at the edge of bankruptcy and felt like an unemployed person. But I never had a really bad feeling about it, because I said, whether I drive a taxi or whether I file some documents, or whether I just sit here and work on these videos and no one pays for me for it, I'd rather just do the videos and not get paid.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, there's 2 points about that. First of all, I am speaking about other people and bullshit jobs. I am guilty of that myself. I'm going to a conference in Armenia now for affiliate marketing. And what you usually affiliate market in that people make money from, it's probably casinos, maybe porn, God knows what, to be honest. And I'm doing it because I'm curious and I might make money, but I really, if I had the choice, I wouldn't do this shit. And I would rather do my podcast and I would do my PhD, which again, I am getting paid for, but I still feel like an unemployed, and I feel guilty for like writing a PhD about something that I would say most people consider somewhat important, how to make more people cycle in places where they don't, how to use a crisis to change a local culture. This is the questions I broadly ask.
So again, how to
how to use a crisis to change local culture. Like we had Corona, the COVID pandemic extremely changed our culture. We went back to normal, but the normal is a new normal. There's measurable results also in the paper I wrote from surveying many different papers that other people wrote, the literature review, that there's measurable results to the change.
I think that's great that you have the sense that you're making meaningful progress, and we have to disassociate our sense of value, our sense of worth from whether we get paid or not. I think that's very important. Whether this video gets paid or not, we both know that it's a valuable thing that we did here. We created this setup, and we can make videos like this now, share whatever is on our mind with the world. And yeah, some things are hard to monetize, like information is just so hard to monetize. That doesn't mean it's not valuable. And especially, that doesn't mean it's not valuable for us. Like this video, even if no one watches it, for us it's such a valuable thing that we are creating. It is fun as hell.
This is the setup, like building this ridiculous box that looks yeah, I mean, you will probably see the box because Achil made some photos. I made some photos of that, thanks.
And 1 month ago I told you about this idea. What did you think when we discussed doing a podcast on a train?
I did not imagine we will have to switch right away. I would imagine some problems. I didn't expect like right away an old lady comes along and kicks us out, but it's fine, you know. That's why public transportation is public, and
but I was wondering,
thanks God for it.
What was your reaction to the whole idea when I first shared it with you?
I think it's exciting. I think maybe you're more excited than I was, but I thought it's like, if I told you actually once when we were building it, if you only do stuff that makes sense, life stopped making sense in a way. like you gotta do some nonsense in this world to enjoy it.
I love that you bring that up, because that's the quote that I kind of wanted to get out of you again. You said that so nicely. This is like something that doesn't make a lot of sense. And that's why it feels more like fun and play, right? At the moment it makes sense economically, it becomes work.
I don't know why, like I think this kind of attitude, I got it. I don't know how you get ideas. Like, I feel like ideas are always, again, I'm not a brain expert, but it feels like it's always on the threshold of getting an idea and you need some trigger to get it. And so I had this when I was around 18. We were hiking in a small creek with a few friends, and one friend, just like there was like this tiny stream waterfall, and he just dipped his head into the water and just like shaked, and he said, "You gotta enjoy the small moments sometimes."
Wow, that moment is still in your memory.
And that moment is still in my memory because it was so insightful.
Wow.
Like just in that. So this is this kind of moment, just like jumping into a waterfall or whatever. It's doing like stupid shit.
Yeah. I have to admit, I haven't done much of that kind of adventurous, stupid stuff for a long time now. I've been in this hustle, making content, doing coaching. We also met through that, obviously, so I'm very happy for all the stuff that I brought into my life through this work, but it is stressful to be an entrepreneur, to be self-employed, and to have to just take complete responsibility for every month, and sometimes it goes well, sometimes it doesn't. What was your kind of decision-making process to become a scientist? Because I also wanted to, at some point, become a researcher myself. I was in a PhD program, like you know. Also social sciences. And I think one thing that got me away from that was I felt like there's no way to say anything with finality, with real certainty in this area of social sciences, because the social world is just so complicated. And you can always like dissect a small just cross-section, but you can't really make strong statements about anything. And then it becomes like, what's the use of it? What's the real point of it? You have to be a philosopher, right? Kind of to really draw the conclusions from all this and actually say, this is what we should do. And then those kinds of philosophers who say, this is what we should do, are actually called politicians. So for me, the only way that I could make sense of being a social scientist would be if I was also a politician and I was actually moving the world in a better direction, whatever that means, and I've studied philosophy. And so how do you see this? How problem of social scientists, that they're tackling a very, very complex problem that probably you need ultimate like value judgments to really solve.
Wow, there was a lot in there.
Yeah, I just rambled on.
Maybe too many things. But so one thing I want to answer is about science and how it works. And Why is it useful? And maybe about the last political side, well, that's why I kind of also started the podcast, and I want to be a communicator. I wouldn't say politician, because politics is a very old system. It is politics, or let's say even democracy, it's 2,000 years old. So, and I would like to, given the technology we have today, and the knowledge we have today, to see also politics getting updated, not only updated, but maybe completely completely change into something else.
Wow.
But back to science and the scientific method, I think I'm a believer in that because it is something that's always changing, and I'm totally happy with not having a finite truth.
Yeah.
So, like, this is you work towards the truth, and then the truth you might discover things, and the truth changes all of a sudden. But that's good. I mean, even in private life, you make plans, and you're my kind of personal coach, and you would tell me that I should always have a plan. And if the plan doesn't fit with life anymore, you gotta change the plan.
Right.
I mean, or you gotta change your life, but you gotta fit them to each other. So I think the truth also fits itself to. I mean, the reality changes the truth we know about. Obviously, that was very clear in physics. We thought, okay, gravity is the ultimate truth, and then relativity came along, and now the truth is different.
But in those like physical sciences, at least you can say that we are closer to the truth now than we were back then. In social sciences, it's harder to say whether we're even any closer to the truth.
Well, I think it could be. Again, I'm not a methodology expert, and I think there's a lot of deviations in science that's going into more directions that are completely socially constructed, and maybe have I don't know if they have basis in reality or not, but the way to describe reality, it's getting very, very, very sophisticated, and the reality itself doesn't change perhaps. But let's say I work with statistics somewhat, so statistics you can trust it to an extent.
Right.
And but I also think social science needs to go even beyond that, and because you know the different disciplines appeared. That we first of all only had philosophy, and all science was philosophy, no matter what you do.
Yeah.
And then we had physics, and then we had biology, and sometime we had social science around the time of Karl Marx and Max Weber. It appeared. But even the studies that these guys did, that the first sociologist 150 years ago did, they still hold some truth. But it's more, the moment you discover something, you need to make a very clear argumentation in social science. And this argumentation, it's a bit shifty. It's a bit dependent on how you, I don't want to say lawyer your way around the thing, but it's like, well, so who did it? Was it Protestant ethics? Was it, oh shit now, so was it now Weber, or was it oh my god, I'm not remembering my first sociology courses, but somebody said, okay, that Protestants are make more money than Catholics because they have this Weber. Okay, of course.
Max Weber.
Come on, I don't even remember. So with Max Weber, yeah. So, and it was true at this moment that Catholics make less money, and they maybe care less about this world and more about the next one. So that was true 100 years ago, and it held some. He did some empiric research, and he came up with some data, and it worked. So now we can still do it, and
except those.
We should go work more in that direction. We should make it better, because society is very complex, and I would say underinvest in this area.
And what would you say are the main truths that you have discovered so far and that you are trying to law your way into the society?
Well, I work a lot on social change, and it's maybe obvious to everyone that society changes, but I realize you can capture that over time. At least you can see how media discourse changes. Discourse is the way we talk about things, but also the dynamics of power that comes into these global conversations that we have. And you can see that this changes over time, just for example by analyzing thousands of newspapers, and then you can see how the discourse change around something, like in my case cycling, but it could be around work, and it could be around meaning, and it could be around hustle culture or whatever.
So you're studying how the discourse on cycling changes. Is that a good characterization?
Yeah.
And what would you say have you found out about this topic?
Well, I looked at Ukraine during the war and after the invasion, current invasion, and well, first of all, I was surprised that because I started this whole research looking at countries like Uzbekistan, where cycling is not really a phenomena of urban transport.
Why did you choose Uzbekistan?
I was there in a trip, and I just watched my surrounding, and I realized that they use bicycles in the park as an entertainment, as a like attraction.
Really?
And they even built some bicycle lanes in the capital back. That was 2019, but nobody uses them. So I thought it's very interesting.
And what did you mean by attraction? How do you use a cycle as an attraction?
No, as a fun, as a leisure.
So it's like kind of BMX kind of tricks and stuff like that.
Maybe, but not even. Just the movement.
Just riding around was like fun for them. It's like a special activity.
Yeah, we don't even see it as fun, right? Why would you ride around in a park? So things that are unperceivable to us in 2026.
The way that we go for race biking, for example, some people do that. For them, it's just like going on a bike itself is interesting. Okay.
So for them, it was normal, and now, but the society is dynamic. 7 years later, now somebody uses these bike lanes, but it's only bicycle delivery workers. So, but society changes. You can see dynamics, and. I care about bicycles because it's the most sustainable way to move. Like you consume the least calories per kilometer than any other means of transportation. And it's fascinating, and it's not for everyone, but this is just something I had to choose because you have to specialize.
Do you cycle around yourself in Berlin a lot?
I do, but it's not like now I have 2 broken bikes, so I have bad luck. But I do, and I use the shared bikes. But I'm a like opportunistic commuter. If I could jump on a shared bike now and then I go and take the public transportation, I'll do it. I just like. Maybe because I'm not, I haven't perfected my meditation yet to the level that I can just be chill with waiting 5 minutes, even though I do meditate. But like most people, I cannot stand waiting. I don't want to stand still. So I'm opportunistic about moving around.
Interesting, yeah.
And it's even much easier to meditate when the train is moving, for example.
Interesting. Like that's actually the main problem I have with cycling in the city, that the bikes get broken and there's flat tires all the time because you drive over broken glass. And then fixing it is such a pain. It like maybe costs 15 euros if you do it professionally, but then going to the place, thinking about being angry, all of that adds up to a cost of 50 euros per week, or maybe 50 euros per month.
I repair my bicycle myself, but it doesn't make me less angry about it, unfortunately.
Yeah, right.
So, but I also discovered, it's very interesting, an old friend, he's closer to retirement age, showed me a very simple, like I want to say third world trick, how to make your tires more robust. When you have a completely dead, not tire, your tubes. When you have a completely dead tube with already 3 holes or more, You take the tube as the outer layer of the tube, and you wrap it around the tire, and then inside you put another tube, which is, it could be a simple tube without this self-filling material. And it's more robust.
Genius.
It will save, I mean, it's so ridiculous that it's like generational knowledge from times we were like, people were poor and whatever, but we just like, even this simple trick nobody knows.
Wow.
And nobody came out with this, like,
I love it.
nobody uses it nowadays.
I wonder if you ask ChatGPT, would it tell you this trick or not? Maybe it's so obscure and so generational that's only oral.
It's not online. That somebody told me, that oh my God, the indigenous knowledge is not in ChatGPT. I mean, yes, but also, like, I don't know if you want to use indigenous knowledge that you took from ChatGPT. You need to. You need to verify. Even indigenous knowledge needs to be verified, I would say. Any knowledge needs to be verified. That's why I like science, and some of it would be extremely valuable.
Right.
But just don't go take grandma's drugs, which not coming from your grandma, that maybe she can trust it at least. Talk to your grandma. Always talk to your grandma. Maybe your doctor, also your grandma.
We're going through a bit of a tunnel, but now we're back in the light. And
why do we even take this? Because I know how we go in a tunnel. Actually, I didn't realize that this train takes the tunnel.
It'll go through a tunnel for a while now.
Yeah, that's true.
Not yet, but maybe after the next stop it'll go underground.
I am so glad this area stinks to high heaven, and this area of the S-Bahn is neglected. We managed to streamline this conversation already for quite a good while.
Yeah, I'm very happy with the result here.
The meta selfie is strong. Who knows? I didn't imagine that an S-Bahn would be the best use case for that.
Such a good image, actually. But of course the sound will be a bit choppy, so that's one thing we have to work around. But I want to ask one more thing. There's somehow, it seems like you have a fascination with Eastern Europe, or even like far Mid-Eastern, what's it even called, all these...
Some people say, some researchers say global East, but it could be also post-Soviet space.
Post-Soviet space, right?
And even that is debated now. It's like, geez, what is the post-Soviet? 30, 40 years later, is it still post-Soviet? I'm not a big, theoretician on this stuff. But I was taken into a project which had Central Asia as focus, and I worked there as a student researcher and the researcher. And I've been to many conferences that deal with public transportation and other sociological phenomena, urban phenomena of these areas. So I become this guy. But society is society, I think. And if somebody will ask me to work next on why people don't like wind turbines, or how to live well and not be stuck in hustle culture only, which I'm not completely against, but I would be happy to work on that topic, or for example on the sociology of happiness. There's so many things out there, and it's the same methods,
Nice.
I wanted to go back to your people work less. I looked it up, and Perplexity makes it rather good to have a fact-based kind of results when you're looking at simple things. So yeah, we do work less. I mean, richer societies work less, but not my. It's like slightly less. If I asked what is the comparison to 20 years ago, and it pulled the data from our world in data, which is rather good place to look for global questions like that. And yes, we work less. I didn't ask it to say how many percentages, but
that's the general feeling I get. The world is clearly becoming more comfortable, and people are having a better and better and better and better time. But yet there's so many people who say it's going down. I feel like it's completely understandable for me how someone can think that life is getting worse. There's new problems, there's different problems for sure. But if you were to put someone, you know, in front of the choice whether he wants to live now or wants to live 500 years ago,
Well, that's an easy comparison.
I would be very surprised, yeah.
But maybe 20 years ago was nicer. I don't know, but I don't want to. It's pointless discussion. Even if it was nicer by some parameters, well, it is what it is. I don't know what.
Of course, in the short run there will be fluctuations, but what I don't understand is when people say like, it's general, the trend, the long-term trend is down. Like, that's obvious. The long-term trend over hundreds and thousands of years is so incredibly up. So even if you have down for a couple of years, you can relax because thousands of years it has been going up in the long run, despite some short downturns.
It's hard to say it in the context of your individual life, but yes, because the economy is deteriorating in some regards, but again, that's why I want to change the economy, because technologically and in terms of, even in many other terms, we are doing better. Yes, we do have more wars than probably 20 years ago. Again, I need to fact check that. Maybe the wars 20 years ago were less visible.
Yeah.
But overall, many things get better, but that's why I did the podcast, because if we don't change society and economy, we're not going to be able to make things better, because the mismatch going to be damaging to us. Like, okay, the job's going to be, nobody going to be having a job in the traditional sense, but it's fine if we have an alternative to that, but we don't have an alternative yet, and that's what bothers me.
What can people do in their individual lives to help bring about this change?
Well, this is tricky because individual is your ability as individual is limited. So I had two strands, like participating less in the economy. This doesn't mean stopping all consumption, but just focus on reducing the needed work for yourself and perhaps for others. But also, I think we need to get involved in more things than that. We need to be at least politically active or some kind of socially active. It's a very complicated question, but it usually combines what are you really love doing, where do you see yourself restoring more balance in the world, and what you're good at. This usually like this Venn diagram of what. But it's extremely general answer, and I'm not very happy about it. Like, well, just shooting out of my.
But it's pretty fundamental. I think it's pretty fundamental because most people are not doing what they love, and that breaks my heart, to be honest. You have this one life, you have all the opportunity and all the wealth of this world, and I see your point a little bit that we're stuck in a certain rat race where we don't even allow ourselves, most people don't allow themselves to think, what do I actually love to do? And let me just do that, even though it's not going to be paid well for a long time, maybe never.
Yeah.
So if I look around, I completely get your point. And in fact, also as a coach, that's like one of my main pain points. I often have to tell my clients, you have to find something you love and do that. And often they already know kind of what they want to do, but they don't have the courage to do it. Because society tells them, no, you have to make money fast.
I mean, I cannot escape that myself, you know.
No,
so I'm doing stuff that are not necessarily my priority oftentimes.
I won't hold you much longer.
Sorry?
I won't hold you here much longer.
No, okay, I get the joke. No, this would be a priority, of course, because
it's a life priority.
Yeah, I mean, I think now that we're in the conversation, it's obviously more inspiring than just imagining yourself sitting in a train and being watched by. But the train setting was fun.
Yeah.
And I even say we should do the train setting in a compartment or something like very, very atmospherical. Like.
I like that. Or also we might have to actually pull out the big microphones so that we can speak into it and we don't have so much background noise. And be okay with people noticing us. because it kind of worked, right? They were like, yeah, whatever, they're doing something. But since it was not in your face that we're doing a big camera setup, people were very casual about it.
Yeah, it's also about time I do some social pressure challenges again, which I haven't been doing in
that's the thing.
years.
It trains a certain muscle, right? Resisting the frame of others, where they're trying to put you into some weird box.
Yeah.
You're like, no, I like what I'm doing, and it's not
I
what
don't think
you do.
any of us ever gonna be like Sacha Baron Cohen or doing like this kind of shit. That's probably no one could like. It's like just the feeling of like the German Fremdschämen, of like looking at it from the side, from behind the screen. It's more embarrassing than anything you would ever do in your life, just looking at it. So I think just recording a podcast on a train, it's like it's okay. It's
not bad,
it's like
right?
a good pushing your social muscles. But
Definitely a bit advanced, because for most people, even just recording a podcast is a big deal. It's very, very scary for most people to have themselves be filmed, recorded, to speak online on camera, whatever. Whether we use this or not, right? Even just just having something to say without necessarily being asked a very direct yes or no question. For most people, it's pretty hard.
Yeah.
They're like, what should I even talk about? We're far ahead of the curve here, so I'm very glad to have you on the show, Ilya. And well, if there's any last words you want to direct to the audience, here's your moment.
I wish there was like one coherent topic to this podcast. And it's so.
I guess the topic was how to have fun and push your social boundary in public space.
Yeah, probably. And well, that's easy. That's very straightforward. Go out there, do your thing, live your life to the fullest.
Build a box with a camera inside.
Yeah. I mean, I wish it was. I don't know. It was a profound, some kind of coherent wisdom I could transfer from this position. But I think it's good that we enjoyed it.
Yeah.